A question to every man that hears this. In a metaphorical sense, does it seem as if, in modern times, women are continually kicking you in the balls, but as men, we're not supposed to say anything? Not to talk of the pain, not to talk of wincing with every kick. No. As men, we're supposed to take it. Everything women do and say, we're supposed to take it. Continually get kicked in the balls and never complain. Because if a man were to complain, he's only seen as a misogynist.
Seriously, that's trash.
Yeah, misogynistic. Because you're complaining that your nuts are hurting you. Because of the continuous repeated kicking. But why did I start like that? Let's have a listen.
Get ready, gang. My favorites are here. Listen to this. A side result, an unintended consequence of the Me Too movement has popped up. Male executives and managers, some are now saying they are afraid to work with and mentor female colleagues in the workplace. So we're trying to find out, is it too hard to see the difference between mentoring and harassment? Joining me now to discuss, Tiffany DeFoo, founder and CEO of The Crew and author of Drop the Ball.
Trash already, trash!
And Shelley Zalas, CEO of The Female Quotient. Tiffany, I turn to you first. So men who are making this argument, well, suddenly now I could be accused of harassment. I can't mentor women anymore. And we first heard this pop up from Wall Street. Bloomberg had an article. I took issue with it because I can't find any evidence where there was ever any extraordinary mentoring on Wall Street. We've never had a female CEO of a bank. So is this just an excuse?
But before we get to the crap, this of course is Replicant Fish. Welcome back. Glad you could join me again. The man, the android, the bastard. Replicant Fish. What else? What else? But I hope you're doing well. Hope your week has been good. January's almost done. First month of the year. Hope it's been good to you. Their title is, some men say they're afraid to mentor women in the workplace. But my title is, women complaining that men are afraid to mentor them. Self-made, leftover women. Meaning because of the crap women have done before to certain men, it could in the long run hinder many women who are trying to move up in certain careers simply because
no one cares.
Simply because men fear accusations. Leftover career women, even though they're leftover, some may not have the career they probably could have. And also the fact is many women will offer up their mouth or their vag for a promotion, for a job, a gig, a new career, whatever.
Proper garden tool.
So let's make sure we paint that picture as well. Yeah, but enough waffling. Let's begin.
So here's the thing. I want to talk to all the men out there who have this concern. I want to say that I feel empathy.
You feel no empathy at all, none.
I understand. You're concerned that you're walking on eggshells. You feel vulnerable in the workplace. You're concerned that your words or your behavior might be misinterpreted as being something other than who you are.
We don't know what the new rules of the road are.
Welcome to the world of being a woman or a person of color or a member of the LGBT community or a person with disabilities in the workplace.
That is bullshit.
Oh my God. Oh man, she went there. This is why I have to make this point. I don't care how many PhDs or degrees you have. Over time, it's clear to see education does not mean logic. Education, no matter how much flipping qualifications you have, does not mean you're a more logical, focused individual. No, for many people, it means you're good at repeating rhetoric. To seriously compare men trying to get on with life just by being men, and to compare that with what women go through is actually effing ridiculous. And this is my point, men, the continuous kicking you in the nuts.
Hey! You stupid son of a bitch! I'm gonna kick you in the nuts!
Yet you're not supposed to say anything. She believes what she's just said makes perfect sense.
Welcome to the world of being a woman or a person of color or a member of the LGBT community or a person with disabilities in the workplace.
Every single man listening to this, tell me if that made sense or not. And we can see 309 likes to 1.4k dislikes. Yeah, we know why. There's more. Oh, there's more.
That is part of the experience, having to take a risk in showing up. You're concerned that you may be labeled as a creep because you compliment me on my beautiful dress. You know what? Sometimes I'm labeled as the B word because I smile too much.
What?
You know what? Sometimes I'm labeled as the B word because I smile too much.
Bullshit.
But because you smile too much when men are saying women don't smile enough anymore. What is this woman talking about?
She's crazy.
What the F is she talking about? And did you hear that, men? Complimenting a woman on how nice her dress is, it means nothing, because even if you're being nice as a man, that means nothing. Because as a modern woman, she can take that as an insult.
Just like a woman.
Just because.
I think that we need to take this new experience that men are feeling in the workplace and actually channel it into something really positive, which is, why don't you work on creating a more inclusive culture and taking all of your frustration, directing it at the men who are making you look really bad, the bad apples, and not punish women in the workplace, because quite frankly, your whole enterprise is going to crumble.
What?
The entire enterprise of modern society will continue to crumble. And it's not because men aren't calling out bad apples, because men do it all the time. The difference is you'll find more men doing this than women. Easily. It's difficult to find women that complain about other women, that make points about other women properly. Yeah, there are lots of them, but they're far and few between. And points again, men, from her responses, she clearly wants you as a man to continually get kicked in the nuts and never complain. So because so many women have changed, you as a man have to change and become better for them. Not for yourself. No, not for society on a whole. Better for women. Yeah? Yet this woman says she's empathetic. What a load of crap.
If you don't figure out how to leverage and harness the ingenuity and creativity and talent of the women.
Shelley, take the other side of the coin with me. You and I are both women who have been mentored by men. We have spent our careers with men, having lots of close personal, social relationships. And many, many times people have said, well, how did she get there? Why is he bringing her? So there's not no truth to it.
Listen, I think the biggest issue today is we're living in a climate of hypersensitivity, microsensitivity. Men are afraid to do and say the wrong thing in today's post-movement era.
Yeah, of course, just get kicked in your nuts continually. I don't want to make a point to any women listening to this video. If you believe the men in your life would never say the things I would, understand this. They're not saying it to you to protect your feelings. Because I guarantee you this, 70% of what I talk about, most men would agree with or understand. The remaining 30% is me and my own personal experiences. But I guarantee you this, every woman listening to this, the men you know will never talk to you about these things. They're afraid of how you would react to it. Understand, women, more than enough men see this happening, know it's happening, but many just choose to get on with it and not say anything. So you think it's a small amount of men like replicant fish? Yeah, keep thinking that. Keep thinking that.
Which is a big issue. And look at us, there's so few female leaders. Leaders are predominantly men. And we need leaders to be our mentors. And if leaders, which are predominantly men, are afraid to be with women alone, we have a big issue.
But the point is, there are a lot of prominent women nowadays in good careers. Why aren't more women mentoring more women? Why do they seemingly still want the mentorship of men? Yep, one has to wonder. Take everything from men, kick them in their nuts, and expect them not to complain or say anything. Yeah? Just get the best of men without men feeling anything, complaining about anything.
I'm gonna kick you in the nuts!
Really? That's how it feels. But of course, women would want the mentorship of men. Why? Because as men, we can't afford to live delusional lives. As men, we can't afford to not be logical.
We have a really big issue. 3.5 times more men say today that they will not go alone with a woman for dinner. 5 times more likely men not wanting to travel with women.
This is a big problem. When we first heard this from Mike Pence, we laughed at it. We said it was absurd. And now if we're actually hearing this from business people, I am worried.
When the effects start to happen, then you panic. Yeah? Pay attention, men, pay attention. When they hear certain words being spoken, they think it's fake until it happens to them. Men, pay attention.
Well, here's the thing. There's lots of ways that the current system, as it was not allowing opportunities for women.
This woman is so off-putting. I don't know how any dude gets it up for this woman. I really don't. This woman is some ice-cold iron box, ironclad, just Jesus Christ. Like, oh man, this woman is,
For people of color, for people in the workplace to advance, because oftentimes when you choose a mentor, you choose someone who's like yourself. I think that this can present all kinds of opportunities for opening up the playing field to let more people get the kind of leadership development and exposure and insight and advice that they need. You don't have to have, if you're not going to have a dinner or a closed door meeting with a woman, how about you not have it with the young men either? How about you choose 3 or 4 or 5 up and coming people in your industry? How about you have a group lunch?
Okay, in business, the reason why closed door meetings happen, and she should know this better than me, is because certain strategies you need to keep to yourself until it has been executed. So people can't steal ideas, counteract what you're doing, or just be too deep into your business. It's business. Hence, of course, you need to maintain some level of security and secrecy. You can't give everything away as a business. As a business, you have competitors. Of course, many behind closed doors conversations will happen. But you see, because of this, think of how many women's opportunities will be hindered because many men are afraid to have these strategic conversations behind closed doors with them. And yes, of course, there are men that are funny dudes who do things on purpose to fondle women. Of course, obviously. But in terms of just business, where the man's trying to focus on business, nothing sexual, for many men, this could still be a problem. You're trying to do business, but you're worried that this woman could bring stupid allegations against you and mess up the entire business.
Right? Where you give your insight, you encourage them to then peer coach one another and form a crew so that they can support one another. I think there are all kinds of ways in which we really need to think about how we advance talent, how we support people, that opens up the playing field for everybody as opposed to being more exclusionary. We don't want to go in that direction.
In a formal sense, that will be fantastic, but it is also those informal connections that really make a huge difference in people's careers. And do we run the risk right now of losing that while the rules of engagement are so unclear?
Well, I think that's why it's time to rewrite the rules.
They're going to rewrite them and tell men this is how you should be. In other words, a harder kicking in the nuts, and no matter how much you wince, you're in pain, just take it even more. Yeah, equality.
I think it's time
But who's going to rewrite them, and then who's going to tell us what they are? Because I don't know it.
I always, we always say it takes a village to raise a family. What is the 21st century today of a village? And I think it includes our companies. And that's what we have to really be thinking about, creating a culture of care, a culture of safety, a culture of security, a culture where we all belong, a culture we can thrive. We cannot go backwards.
I agree we can't go backwards, men. And it's why I say to you as men, you have to bastardize yourself. You can't be a classic traditional man in nowadays, in modern times. The women you're trying to court, please. The women you're trying to court or chat up, they're not traditional women. Many of them, not all, but many of them are these modern, career iron box clad women that don't seem to understand they're incredibly undateable. Men will bang you if they want to be with you for anything long term.
We know that we need everyone to open their hearts, open their minds, open their doors.
Silence, you fool!
Men can develop more skills than certain women simply because they have spent countless time doing certain tasks. As men understand this and own this, be skilled, be highly skilled, be focused, be on your grind, shine like a mother effing star, learn to let women suffer in the crap they're building for themselves. Hear, woof woof, as men, yeah. In other words, focus, observe, remember. The world is yours. Have a nice day.